So apparently, someone leaked what looks like Chrisean Rock and her baby Junior's medical records, and it's caused an absolute explosion on social media. Now, I'll start by saying this: we don't know for certain if these documents are real. But based on the language, the structure, and the way these notes are written, they definitely seem like something a medical professional would put together. Whether they actually belong to Chrisean's son or not, that's the part that's still up in the air. But one thing is clear: someone's medical history, someone's deeply personal information has been exposed, and the internet is reacting like wildfire. Let's get right into it, because this whole thing took a really heavy turn. We've seen Chrisean Rock trending before. Sometimes it's about drama with Blueface. Sometimes it's a viral live stream. Sometimes it's something she said or did on Instagram. But this time, this one feels different. It's deeper. It's not just about headlines or messy internet gossip. This time, the story is about her baby. It's about real-life health concerns. And for a lot of people, it's triggering. It's the kind of situation that makes you stop scrolling and go, wait, what is going on? The first wave of this story hit when screenshots started flooding platforms like Twitter and TikTok. These screenshots, which have been shared across timelines and private group chats alike, are being claimed to be Junior's medical records. Again, I can't stress this enough: there's no official confirmation that these are real or that they're even his. But what's wild is how detailed they are. They use very specific medical terminology, which is what makes people believe they could actually be legit. And when you see something like that circulating online, you can't help but pause and ask, is this real? And if it is, who leaked this? One of the first shocking claims in these alleged records is that Chrisean admitted to prenatal substance abuse. And not just vaguely, there are allegedly specific substances listed. That's a bold claim. And honestly, it's hard to believe. I mean, would Chrisean really say that in a hospital setting? Especially knowing how much public scrutiny she's under. That's the part where a lot of people start getting skeptical. Still, even just hearing that possibility is enough to spark chaos. And chaos is exactly what's happening. Now, out of respect, I'm not going to show the screenshots in this video. This is about a child, and no matter what, that baby deserves privacy. But we're going to talk about what people claim these documents say, because, like it or not, the internet hasn't stopped talking about them. The alleged medical notes reference multiple health concerns: fetal alcohol syndrome, pulmonary issues, vision problems, even neonatal abstinence syndrome. That last one is serious. It means the baby might have been exposed to drugs in the womb and had to detox after birth. If any of this is true, it's heartbreaking. But again, and I'll keep saying this, we don't know if it's real. Still, the alleged details are causing real emotional reactions. People are crying, they're arguing. They're going full internet detective, zooming into screenshots, dissecting every sentence, every diagnosis. Some say Chrisean didn't take prenatal vitamins. Others point to alleged missed medical appointments for the baby. There's a growing narrative forming that paints her as neglectful, and whether it's true or not, people are running with it like it's confirmed. That's the danger of viral information with no verification. People act as if it's fact. And it gets more intense. One part of the documents allegedly claims that Junior tested positive for substances at birth, opioids, possibly cocaine, and that he's suffering from conditions like spasticity, seizure disorders, and something called cortical visual impairment, or CVI. For those who don't know, CVI isn't the same as being blind. It means the eyes might physically work, but the brain has trouble processing visual input. That's a serious neurological condition, and it would mean this child has been facing challenges since day one. If true, this is far beyond gossip. It's a medical crisis. Now here's where things get even murkier. If these records are real, and if Junior really did test positive for controlled substances, wouldn't there have been legal consequences? In many states, when a baby is born with substances in their system, hospitals are required by law to notify Child Protective Services. It doesn't always mean the child is taken away immediately, but it does mean that a case gets opened. Social workers may visit the home. There may be check-ins, interviews, even supervised parenting plans. But so far, we haven't seen any official report, and Chrisean hasn't publicly faced any legal consequences related to these claims. That has people wondering, maybe these documents aren't real. Or maybe there is a case, and it's just happening behind closed doors. The truth is, child welfare investigations are confidential. Unless it becomes part of a public court case, we might never know what's going on behind the scenes. But that doesn't stop people from assuming the worst. The court of public opinion is already in full swing, and Chrisean is once again at the center of it. Let's talk about the leak itself, because whether these documents are real or not, someone went out of their way to make this public. And if they're even partially real, that's a massive HIPAA violation, a federal crime. Someone either hacked into a system, got access through a connection, or was close enough to Chrisean to see these files firsthand. And that is terrifying. Because if a hospital or medical professional was involved in this leak, that's a scandal. That's someone risking their entire career to expose private information. The original account that posted these images, allegedly under the name King K's, has disappeared, deleted, gone. Either the person deactivated it, or the platform took it down, which is suspicious in itself. If you had nothing to hide, why vanish? Some believe the account was scrubbed to cover their tracks. Others think the original poster was threatened or legally warned. Either way, the damage was already done, because those screenshots spread like wildfire. There's even a theory going around that this leak was deliberate, a way to damage Chrisean's reputation, especially since she's been so publicly scrutinized since the pregnancy. People are saying that this is part of a bigger smear campaign, that the public has been fed a happy baby image while the truth is being hidden. Whether or not that's true, we just don't know. But the internet is leaning into every theory possible. And here's the harsh truth. If even some of this is real, there's likely already a file on someone's desk with Chrisean's name on it. But we may never see that file. And until we do, everything remains speculative. That hasn't stopped TikTokers from making videos, CPS tags from flying in comments, or people calling for intervention. But that doesn't mean legal action is automatically going to happen. Every case is different. Every situation has nuance. If Chrisean is attending appointments, following care plans, cooperating with medical professionals, she may be under observation without any need for removal. That's how some child welfare systems operate, with a focus on rehabilitation and support, not just punishment. Still, none of this has been confirmed. No hospital, no doctor, no court has validated the claims. That leaves us in this weird middle space, where speculation feels like fact and emotions are running high. And yet, public opinion is already shifting. Some fans are backing away. Others are saying she's being set up. People are even analyzing her body language on live streams, trying to spot signs of stress or guilt. But none of that is proof. So here's the bottom line. This entire situation is sensitive, dangerous, and potentially devastating, especially if even a fraction of these claims are true. But until there's confirmation, it remains what it is, a rumor. A viral rumor with real-world consequences. The internet shouldn't be a courtroom, but right now, that's exactly what it's turned into. However, Black Boy Max was running a live stream, one of those chill dating show style formats where guests pop in, flirt, chat, and sometimes stir the pot. Pretty standard until Chrisean Rock joined the call. Now, immediately, the vibe changed. Tension thickened the air like fog. Because guess who else was in the virtual room? Wendy, and if you didn't already know, there's some history between these two. Wendy's gone on record before saying she's afraid of Chrisean. Not uncomfortable, afraid. So you can imagine how awkward it got when they were face to face, even if it was just over a live stream. Now, Chrisean didn't take kindly to that. She didn't understand why Wendy would be scared of her. She wasn't threatening anyone, wasn't yelling, just existing, but to Wendy, that was enough to feel unsafe. When production came up, as in why Chrisean wasn't officially part of the show, Wendy blamed it on production issues. But Chrisean called that out instantly. She felt like it wasn't about production at all. It was personal. She said people were lying and making excuses just because they didn't want her around. You could see it in her face. She wasn't buying any of it. As the string continued, it only got more uncomfortable. Wendy's body language said it all. She looked nervous, closed off, even a little shaken. Meanwhile, Chrisean sat cool and collected. Not angry, not wild, just quiet and clearly unbothered. That calmness, honestly, it made things even more tense. It felt like Chrisean was just waiting for Wendy to get over it. At one point, someone tried to suggest they talk things out, maybe settle the tension. Wendy shut that down. She had no interest in squashing the beef and the energy. You could cut it with a knife. Online, viewers were immediately divided. Half of them said Wendy was overreacting and playing the victim. The other half said Chrisean was being too aggressive. even if she wasn't yelling or acting out. The comments started flooding in. Then, during the same live stream, Wendy pulled Max aside and asked the question that really set everything in motion. Why is Chrisean even here? You could hear how blindsided she felt, and you could tell she was hurt. Max responded by saying it wasn't planned. He claimed she probably just showed up, but Wendy wasn't convinced, and honestly, neither was the internet. Wendy got emotional. She said people were coming at her unfairly, dragging her name, even bringing up her son in the drama. That's when things got real. She said she's a sensitive person and she doesn't like when people twist her words or attack her character. And viewers started asking the hard questions, like, did Max know what he was doing all along? Did he purposely bring Chrisean in for views, knowing Wendy would be triggered? Chrisean sure thought so. She said Max invited her. Not only that, but she dropped receipts, real ones. She showed messages where Max encouraged her to come on the stream. She said she paid out of pocket for everything, her team, her travel, her equipment. She even got dressed in the car on a 3-hour ride just to make it on time. That's dedication. So when she was suddenly being told to leave, you better believe she felt disrespected. At that point, the internet exploded. Fans started accusing Max of using Chrisean's name for clout, hyping her up to boost the stream, then backing off when it got too hot. And honestly, from the outside, it looked like a setup. Chrisean said even her own family and friends were questioning why she showed up. They were disappointed in her, not because she went live, but because they saw her walking into a situation that felt like a trap. Max, of course, tried to defend himself. He claimed Chrisean wasn't officially invited and that she just appeared, but the screenshots told a different story. And when the stream ended, Chrisean didn't hold back. She jumped on Snapchat and aired everything out. She said she got no payment, no screen time, no respect. She reminded people that she's a single mom, doing everything by herself. She said she showed up calm, didn't act out, didn't throw things, didn't cause chaos like the old Chrisean might have. She left peacefully, but not before the damage was done. Then came the moment that really shifted public opinion. While venting, Chrisean called Wendy an enchilada. And that was the moment everything changed. What was meant to be a raw, emotional rant quickly turned into something else. People online were not here for it. Even those who supported her started pulling back. They said that insult was unnecessary and low. It turned the focus away from the bigger issue and put the spotlight on Chrisean's words. And just like that, the story became less about being blindsided and more about crossing a line. Wendy, for her part, stayed silent. No live video, no dramatic tweets. But according to sources close to her, she had a backup phone on set because her main phone had been taken. That's how she found out Chrisean was even there. And when she learned the truth, she made the call to confront Max. Fans actually praised her for keeping her cool and avoiding a blow-up. Others said she played it smart by staying quiet and letting the receipts speak for themselves. But the internet wasn't done. People started digging into Chrisean's history. This wasn't her first live stream controversy. Critics said she brings chaos everywhere she goes, that she feeds off the attention, good or bad. But her supporters, they said she's tired of being painted as the villain every time she walks in the room. That she's trying to grow, trying to handle things differently, but still getting the same backlash. And honestly, the strangest part in all this, Max reportedly told Chrisean beforehand that she wasn't going to be part of the show. Then he changed his mind, or maybe just rolled with it when she showed up. Either way, it was messy, especially when he eventually asked her to leave and seemed to side with Wendy. It left everyone confused, especially Chrisean, who felt betrayed and used, financially, emotionally, and publicly. She said she came through thinking she was welcomed. She gave her time, her money, and her platform, only to be pushed out when things got uncomfortable. But in the end, many viewers felt she sabotaged her own moment by going for the low blow. Because no matter how real her emotions were, that one comment about Wendy was what people latched onto. So now the internet is left asking, was Chrisean wrong for snapping, or was she pushed too far? Did Wendy overplay the fear card, or was she truly blindsided? And was Max really that clueless, or was he orchestrating this whole thing for views? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it.